Let's begin with why you stopped talking to them in the first place. You were tired. Tired of the lies, the games, the manipulation. You just wanted something real, something honest, something healthy, functional, peaceful. You weren't asking for too much. You weren't trying to invite chaos into your life. But you didn't know who or what you were really dealing with. At first you thought they were just a little bit damaged, maybe misunderstood. You gave them the benefit of the doubt. You believed things could be different. Maybe they just needed time. Maybe they'd change. Or maybe, as they subtly convinced you, you just weren't doing enough. You weren't good enough to bring out their best side, so you worked harder. You tried to be patient. You tried to love them into healing, until eventually you gave everything you had. And they took it. They drained you, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. They bled you dry. And still, it was never enough. That's when you reached your breaking point. You realized this person isn't going to change. They can't take accountability. They don't have the capacity or even the desire to be better. They're broken on levels that love can't reach. So you stop talking to them, not out of malice, not out of pettiness, but because there's just no point. And then something strange happens. The same person who was once so negative, critical, chaotic, suddenly becomes positive. Now they're happy. Now their life is great. They're doing well. Posting like they've leveled up. Acting like you were the problem all along. It's confusing. You start questioning yourself. Maybe they really did change. Maybe they always had that potential, and you just didn't unlock it. Or maybe they were right about you. You start to forget how much they took from you, how they clearly came up from being with you, how much you gave and how little they gave in return. But they planted a seed in your mind. They made you believe there was something more than they really are. That they had something more. That you just weren't good enough to be part of it. So what's actually happening when you stop talking to a narcissist? Do they just move on? Do they go back to their better life? Free of problems, free of you? Do they forget you like they always claimed they could? Or is something else going on behind the scenes? Something very different from the picture they want you to see. Let's get into it. Here's the highly contradictory and strange thing about it. When you stop talking to a narcissist, many of them lose their minds. Because despite what they made you to believe, you were their prized possession. They spent so much time convincing you that you were nothing special. That there were others like you, better than you, waiting in line. But the truth is, there isn't anyone else, not like you. And deep down they know it. They know that you're the best thing they ever had. They know they'll never find someone like you again. That's why when you finally cut contact, when you stop chasing, stop explaining, stop responding, they spiral. This can be incredibly confusing, because you think, if I meant so much, why did they treat me like I meant nothing? Why didn't they fight for the relationship? Why didn't they show they cared? Why were they so cold, cruel, and controlling? Why did they treat you like you were disposable, when in reality they were terrified to lose you? Let's break it down together. They took you for granted because they never truly value what they already have. They can't. They're incapable of appreciation. As soon as something or someone is within their grasp, they begin to devalue it. It's the same way people often treat inanimate objects. You might not feel intense gratitude every time you use your fridge or microwave, but if it breaks, suddenly it becomes the only thing on your mind. You'll do anything to fix it. And that's how the narcissist saw you. Not as a person, but as an object, a tool, a possession that existed to serve a function. You regulated their emotions. You made them feel important. You gave them identity. As long as they had you under control, things felt manageable for them. But the moment you started reclaiming your time, your attention, your boundaries, that's when their grip began to slip. That's when the manipulation, triangulation, and comparisons ramped up. Because in the beginning, it's normal for couples to be immersed in each other, but eventually, a healthy partner understands the need to grow, to return to work, focus on family, goals, or self-care. But the narcissist, they don't want that. They want your entire existence to orbit around them, indefinitely. And when they see you slipping away, they become jealous, possessive, and paranoid. They'll sabotage your work, your friendships, your peace. They'll make you late for appointments. They'll try to isolate you, even go as far as smearing you to your boss or loved ones, or to eliminate anything that threatens their control. And once they've torn down everything, your support system, your confidence, your direction, they'll flip the script. Suddenly they're the successful one, posted about their thriving career, their amazing life, or the people who adore them. They create the illusion that they've leveled up while you've been left behind. But it's all fake. They're just using your insecurities, the ones they created, against you. They're projecting all of their fears onto you. Because the truth is, you were their everything. Their source, their mirror, their lifeline. And they know they don't deserve you. That's why they tried so hard to convince you otherwise. Why they acted like you needed them. Why they told you to leave after destroying your ability to leave. After taking your resources, your hope, your strength. It was a setup, a psychological trap. They wanted to create a version of you that was broken enough to stay, to convince themselves and you that you were the one who needed them. It's all backwards. They destroy your life, your health, your opportunities, and then act like you're the failure. Meanwhile, they're living off everything they stole from you. The friends they triangulated, the connections they sabotaged, the reputation they smeared. All of it done to keep you stuck, isolated, and under control. Because they can't grow, they can't evolve. They are frozen in trauma, and they want to keep you there with them in their pit. Because watching you rise, watching you love yourself, rebuild, or receive admiration from others, it destroys them inside. So they keep you down, one step forward, 2 steps back. Just enough hope to stay, but never enough to escape. And when you finally do stop talking to them, They panic. They try everything, stalking, smearing, love bombing, sabotage, to pull you back, because they can't survive without your energy. They have nothing. They are nothing, unless they're feeding off of you. And what hurts the most is that you don't see it at first. You think maybe I'm the problem, but really, you were everything they pretended to be. The strength, the compassion, the security, the self-worth. They wanted it, they envied it, and because they couldn't become it, they tried to destroy it. You became the mirror of everything they couldn't be. And now, they want to reverse it. Make you feel what they felt. Keep you frozen in the same trauma they've never healed from. But here's why I do what I do. I don't want to see you trapped like that. I want to break you out. I want to free you. You deserve to be whole again, to regain your self-awareness, to reconnect with your gifts, to rebuild your confidence, your power, your independence, to take care of yourself again, and one day, to build with someone who can actually reciprocate. That's how it's supposed to be. Not you stuck in survival mode for someone who can't even manage themselves. You deserve far more than crumbs. You deserve peace, love, progress, a life. So if this resonates with you, if you're ready to rebuild and reclaim your power, I offer one-on-one coaching to guide you through it. Let's help you find clarity, strength, and direction again. You don't have to do this alone. Like, comment, and share this video to help others who need this message. Subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any uploads. Donations and coaching links are in the description below. Thank you for being here. You're not broken, you were targeted, and you can rise again. This is why you were never allowed to grow. Why everything you invested into them went nowhere. Why your life, no matter how hard you worked, felt like it was stuck in place. Because that's where they wanted you. Tamed, trapped, dependent. Not because you're weak, but because you're powerful and they couldn't handle it. So let's bring it all together. Narcissists want power over you. They want to put you through what they went through, but instead of healing, they pass it on. They transfer their pain, their fear, their envy onto you. They want you needy, desperate, and dependent, even when you're getting nothing in return. They want you chasing, begging, settling for crumbs, starved of peace, trapped in a never-ending cycle of drama, chaos, and confusion. And just when you think you're getting somewhere, when you start to feel stable, hopeful, they come in and push you back down because they want to keep things stuck. They don't want progress because they can't progress. They can't grow. They can't move on from their own trauma. And your healing, your evolution, it reminds them of that truth. So they work overtime to sabotage it. They want to drag you into their dungeon and keep you there. They want to reduce you to someone who's dependent on basic survival to strip away your mental health, your finances, your autonomy, until they become your only source of life, just enough to keep you ticking while they feel powerful. You were once thriving, free, independent, at the top of your game. Now you're left feeling like a burden, a shell, a patient in a psych ward, desperate for attention and short of what's real, barely holding on. And that's exactly how they want it. They want to be your caretaker, not out of love, but control. To give you crumbs when it suits them. To keep you desperate for anything, no matter how far it is from what you actually need. Because when you're broken, depleted, starving, you're easier to control. That's their end game. To make you worship them. To make them your God, the center of your world. They want to be your master, while you become their puppet, tied to them, trapped in their web. And that's why when you stop talking to them, they will do anything to pull you back in. Drugs, addictions, sex, debt, shopping, legal traps. Anything to drag you back down. Anything to get you hooked again. Because they never want you to see the light of day. They want you numb, paralyzed, childlike, unable to speak, move, or think clearly. Just eyes and ears to observe them, to reflect their fantasy version of themselves back to them. Because when they first met you, they were stunned. They saw what they lacked, and they envied it.